All right, so let's pick up with this example, this integral of sine of root x plus 2. Certainly the trickiest example we've seen so far, but it looks like now we've got a direction here. So based on what we were saying at the end of the last video, now our integral is going to become, instead of this sine of root x plus 2 that we weren't able to do a whole lot with, we've replaced that square root of x plus 2 with u. So that's going to be the integral of sine of u. And we figured out that dx can be represented by 2 times u du. All right, and of course that 2 is a constant. So I can write that as 2 times the integral of u sine u du. And all of a sudden we're on much more familiar grounds. That is a very typical integration by parts situation. We can let dv be the sine function because we know how to integrate that. And much like the last example, the first one we did today, we can let w be the u because that will get simpler when we differentiate it. So by exploring this and trying what really seemed to be the only option that was going to have any chance of success, we wound up discovering that this seems to be a combination of first u substitution, then integration by parts. So I'm going to use integration by parts with w equal to u, dv equal to sine u du. So that dw, again, is the derivative of u, which is 1 times du. So dw is just du. And v is the integral of sine u, well, really the main antiderivative, which is negative cosine u. So then, our given integral is going to become, we still got that 2 up front, so we'll have 2 times v times w, that's negative u cosine u, minus the integral of v dw, and so I'm going to pull that negative out, so minus and minus becomes a plus the integral of cosine u du, which is a nice elementary integral, one of our common integrals. We'll have 2 times negative u cosine u. The integral of cosine is sine u plus c. And finally, we'll multiply that 2 back in, and of course, go back to what our substitution was. We let u be the square root of x plus 2. So this is going to be negative 2 times the square root of x plus 2 times cosine of root x plus 2 plus 2 times the sine of root x plus 2 plus c. So that's how we do that one. Not an obvious one, but we basically went through, we eliminated all the obvious ways to do it, and so then we hit upon the only approach that seemed like it could give us any possibility of success. And it did. Perseverance. It's a big part of integration. Before we wrap up Unit 1, there's one more topic we should talk about that comes out of integration by parts. And what you might have noticed, especially with some of the earlier examples in this section, in particular, remember we did one where we did the integral of x squared times, I think it was e to the 6x. And what we saw was that we had to use integration by parts twice there. But in both cases, the way we set up the integration by parts formulas, they were pretty similar. Not identical to each other, but they kind of fit into a bit of a pattern. And had we had the integral of, say, x cubed times e to the 6x in that case, we would have found the exact same thing. That pattern just would have continued into a third use of integration by parts, and so on. And because for many of those kinds of situations, the use of integration by parts becomes a little bit algorithmic. It does start to fall into a bit of a predictable pattern. One way that we could generalize those results is to derive what we refer to as reduction formulas. So these are basically formulas that tell you what you're going to get out of integration by parts, regardless of the number of times you have to apply it to integrals of a certain form. So in some cases, you can use integration by parts to derive a reduction formula. Which gives the result of applying this method, applying integration by parts, to integrals of a certain form any number of times. And I think the easiest way to understand what a reduction formula really is and how it might work is just to look at an example. So we're going to look at the following reduction formula. Let's derive the reduction formula Now the integral of x to the n times e to the x, we're going to show that for any positive integer n, this is always going to be equal to x to the n times e to the x minus that number n times the integral of x to the n minus 1 times e to the x. So again, where n here is any natural number, and then we're going to use it to evaluate a specific integral we're going to use it to evaluate the integral, let's say where n is 3. Let's say the integral of x cubed times e to the x. And so here's where this term comes from. What we're going to show, using integration by parts, is that we can rewrite this integral in this form. And notice that the integral that shows up on the right-hand side of this formula has basically the same form as the integral on the left-hand side, but this power is reduced. It's gone from n to n minus 1. In other words, that power has been reduced, hence reduction formula. And all we need here is integration by parts. So let's see how to do that in our next video.